Please,
County
Samantha.
Commission. Today is November 10th, 2020. It is 9 a.m. and we will start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Apologize that we did not have our flags. We are transitioning back into our meeting space finally and thankfully. And the flags did not make the transition back. So we will-
We've been in so many places. We're just lucky all three of us made it to here.
Let the record show that all three commissioners are present. Commissioner Smith, Commissioner Price, Commissioner Stone. And we will begin with the recognition of the public. Is there anyone to be recognized?
Rob Kirk was here prior to the meeting, and you wanted to address the commission?
Yeah, just quickly.
Okay.
Good morning.
Do I need to sign in?
You didn't sign in with Dee Dee, but he was here prior to the meeting beginning.
The commission put out a comment that it was giving $3,000 to each fire department. And I got a paper here. It's when the 3,000 came out, this is exactly what we got. It's I got a deal on the gear, and it was $4,980 for 3 sets. Fire Decks, which is the company that makes the gear. This whole outfit right here is somewhere between $10,000 and $15,000. The mask, which a lot of people they don't know exactly what it does. This is all brand new stuff. This here is what's called a dragger air pack that goes on the guy's back. And when I say $10 to $15,000, that's a person. I got 25 people. So, it's just, people doesn't understand, just like that 3,000. You notice it was $4,980. So we took 3,000 and got 3 sets of gear for $4,980. So we're really out only $1,980. So, we just wanted
Didn't
to.
include the bottle or the trigger.
No, that's just gear. I'm talking, this is totally something separate. This right here is somewhere between 7,000 and 10,000. This right here is between 7,000 and 10,000. The coat and the pants is the $4,980. I got 2 sets of boots. These are brand new. They were $780 for 2 pairs, so divide it to 2. I just wanted to give a little demonstration of what it costs to operate the fire department. And when money like that is given to us via fire levy, commission money, or however it may be, it goes to fundraising. Fundraising is really hard this year because of our epidemic that's going on. We wasn't allowed to have, wasn't supposed to have, we didn't, wasn't allowed to have demolition derbies, which they generate, the food and stuff will generate somewhere between $4,000 and $7,000 a piece when we do it. So we couldn't have that. So we tried dinners and whatnot, but I know what it is. I know what it is to budget money like you guys budget money, because I've taken the fire department since 1982 when I got in. I've taken it from 500,000 to somewhere between 2 and 3 million. So just I know what it is to save money. I know what it is to spend the right money, to look at the right deal, and we wanted to thank you guys for considering that. And that 3,000, you can see it's going. This is gear that we already got, $4,980. So I didn't know. I was asking Dave a little bit about the time span of when that money was coming, because we already spent it. But anyway, we just want to say thanks. give you that paper.
Yes, we certainly appreciate you coming forward and showing, where those tax dollars that we've allotted to each
Yeah.
department are going. We really appreciate all that you guys do, and this really paints that visual. And, when those alarms go off, you guys don't ever hesitate, and we appreciate that.
It's very difficult. It's when I got into 1982, you just got on the back of the fire truck and give you a little history. You got on the fire truck and answered the call. But there again, it was a $500,000 operation. Now it's a $3 million operation, and it's a business.
Times have changed.
It's just like this. It's a business. Because if I was making phone calls when I was coming down the mountain trying to get the NFRS. That's how we get paid through the state. And they put the new system in, they're redoing it, which in the software stuff, which I'm not real good with software. They're redoing it to make it non-hackable. And I can't get my fire reports in. I'm 2 months behind, but they say our money will be all right. But anyway, I'm just making phone calls trying to figure that out. But yeah, it's just a business. That's all it is.
If I could, on your allocation, Rob, all you have to do is just request like you have in the past. I mean, there's not anything different than we had in the past,
Okay, yeah, that's it. I mean, I guess that'll work then.
Well, in the past, you
Just
give
a
us a
letter.
financial
Just a
statement.
letter off.
Oh, okay, I'll have
Just like we did in the past. I mean, it's similar to every allocation you've ever gotten,
okay,
which is just the money, and then you provide us a financial statement.
okay, well, you can have that then.
Yeah, that's
And I'll
perfect.
have Dorinda send it to you.
That's fine.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Rob.
Thanks for your time.
And I will make sure that clarification is out there for everybody, Rob.
$3,200.
For the gloves.
Yeah.
Hey, Rob,
Yes.
I will send an email to Craig, because that's who I kind of communicate with.
Okay.
And make sure that everybody knows what the protocol on that money is. Okay?
Yeah, that's good, because they probably don't know.
All right, we will move on, with our assistant. Ms. Connie is here, and she has a tax correction list for us.
Preston in the amount of $619.72. A couple clerical errors, another business account that was copied for 3 years.
Okay.
I'd like to move this time, we approve the tax correction list. Is everybody's
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the tax correction list as it has been presented this morning. Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner Price?
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Connie. All right. Brings us to our appointment with BJ Davis with the Preston County Health Department with our COVID-19 update.
Up there? Yeah, please.
All right, well, good morning.
Just,
Did a report here in a while, but I thought I would come.
hey, VJ, just got a half a step in. There you go. Thank you.
I don't really want to be on camera. I thought I would definitely want to give you guys a report because we have a lot of things going on right now. Our total numbers right now, we have had 248 confirmed cases, 35 probables. We currently have 56 active cases going on. We are up to 6 deaths. We have had 2 deaths in the last week from Preston County residents. But more importantly, the number I wanted you to hear this morning was since October 15th, we have had 106 new cases. We have literally blown up the last 3 weeks. And because of that, our numbers, because of our numbers increasing, our color on the state map has kind of went back and forth between yellow and gold. Anytime we go gold, it triggers the National Guard to come in and do testing. We were gonna have that testing was gonna start on Saturday, and then we went yellow, so they postponed it, then we went back to gold, so they put it back on. We were back to yellow yesterday, but from what I understand, they're gonna continue to do our testing throughout the rest of this week till Saturday, and then they'll reevaluate where we are at that point. So I did want to give you guys some information on the testing. We started yesterday afternoon in Terra Alta, tested 85 people. from 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock in Terra Alta. Today, this morning, from 8 to 12, we're in Fireman's Field. And then this afternoon, we'll be at Denver Church from 2 to 5. Tomorrow, we will be Preston Mills at the West Banco parking lot from 8 to noon, back at Denver Church from 2 to 5. Thursday, we'll be back at the Fireman's Field from 8 to noon. Terra Alta Fire Department from 2 to 5. On Friday, we will be at Denver Church from 8 to noon. And Preston Mills, West Banco parking lot from 2 to 5. And then on Saturday, from 8 to noon, we'll be at Terra Alta, and 2 to 5 here at the Fireman's Field. So we've tried to move these testing sites around as much as we could to try to cover as much of the county as we could cover. We're encouraging people to come out and get tested. The advantage of getting this free testing done is it really helps to identify asymptomatic positives so that those people can be quarantined so that they're not out there spreading it to other people. So that's the main purpose of doing the testings. So we have the guard support here with us. We had the Terra Alta EMS helped yesterday with some of the swabbing. And, the OEM office is down there helping today with the traffic control. So we've got that planned throughout the rest of the week as well. So do you guys have any questions for Health Department today?
I don't really have a question, I just, a little bit of clarity. When we teeter between yellow and gold, it's not because numbers are truly changing, is it more because of the rate of the people coming off of quarantine, or filtering back out?
That part gets very complicated because then you're dealing with the calculations that the state uses to determine our colors. There are 2 indicators that determine our colors. There's the incident rate, which is how many new cases you're getting. And then there is the percent positivity, which is the number of positives divided by the number of tests that were done on that particular day. The way the state does that is basically, depending on where those numbers fall, determines whether you're green, yellow, gold, orange, or red. They pick the better of those 2 numbers to determine your color. For example, we have been in the orange in incident rate for 3 weeks now, solid. But we have been anywhere from yellow to gold in percent positivity. So, for example, on any given day, let's say you had 100 tests in a day and no positives. Well, that's a 0% positivity rate. On the other hand, if you have 100 tests done and 10 positives come in, then, you have a higher percentage on your day. So they take a 7-day span and average those, and that's what gives you your determination of what color you're in. And that's why it's really hard to predict, because the percent positive is a number that we don't know until it comes out on the state dashboard. So that's why at 10 o'clock every morning, the state dashboard refreshes and we know what color we are that particular day. And we basically, our numbers for percentage positive, we've just been teetering back and forth between yellow and gold. So incident rate, we've been solidly orange for a while. I mean, that's because we've had 106 new cases. So the active cases don't factor into that. It's the number of new cases you're receiving in that 7-day period and how many people are getting tested versus how many are negative from that determines that percentage positive.
The only other question I have, this is a question, is how do we determine that there's a difference between the map that we go by, the DHH, on the DHHR site, and the Board of Education map? Because I get a lot of phone calls and I tend to direct them back to the Board of Ed because that's out of our hands.
Yeah. The Board of Education, the State Board of Education puts out a map every Saturday at 5 o'clock. They base that map on a 7-day span, starting with Thursday and ending with Thursday. So they calculate that map based on what the numbers were for that 7-day span. That's why you may see, like, for example, this week on the State Department of Education map, Preston County is yellow. Well, on the DHHR map, we've been yellow, but we've dipped into gold and back to yellow. But on the state, their map is determined by a specific 7-day span. The DHHR map is a rolling average. average of 7 days. So every single day, you get a
It
day that
changes.
goes off and a day that comes on, whereas the state Department of Education map, they base it on a specific 7-day span. So that's why you may have a little bit of a difference in them, and it is confusing. You know, I don't know exactly what the rationale behind it is, but.
What kind of lag is there? Because we understand that it's what, 4 or 5 days after a test that you get the results.
Yeah,
So you could be getting last week's results a week later.
well, and it does depend. When someone's tested, you know, depending on what type of test they receive. If you get a rapid test, you're gonna know that day what your result is.
What are they
And then
doing?
that particular lab, you know, if it's positive, reports that to the health department, and we know that day. Now, with a PCR test, which is the regular nose swab test, it can take anywhere from 2 to 5 to who knows how many days, depending on how busy the lab is. So those numbers don't populate until you get that result back. And now we find out at the health department, as soon as someone is tested positive, that provider is required to contact us and let us know within 24 hours. But I'll give you an example. When I put out my daily little thing that I send out on Facebook with how many numbers we have, those are the numbers that I know to be true at that point in time. The state dashboard might not update with those numbers until tomorrow, because we send that to the state and then they update theirs. So there is a lag. So that's why you will never see, you know, exactly the same numbers on what I put out and what the state dashboard says, because it all has to get reported. They have to update theirs. So it kind of falls behind a little bit, but in the overall scheme of things, it all, you know, equals out. But the important thing that we're trying to get people to know right now is we are definitely seeing a huge increase in cases. We have since the middle of October it started, and it really hasn't stopped. So we're really trying to, you know, we just need to really make good decisions. We were doing really good there for a while, and I think we kind of maybe slacked off on some things, and but we just need to really be cognizant of knowing how this spreads and avoiding those situations. That's the only thing we can do right now.
I have one little question about hospitalizations. As we find out that maybe some people are not suffering as badly as maybe they were 6 months ago, maybe the percentage of those hospitalized people.
And I don't know exactly what our numbers for hospitalization are in Preston. The statewide numbers, I have to go to the dashboard to get that. That's not a number that I wrote down for today. I do know that, you know, at this point in time in Preston County, I think we have 3 people that are in the hospital at this point. Statewide, I'm not sure what the number is statewide. But as far as the symptoms, what we're noticing in Preston County right now is it seems like we're getting a lot more people, a lot more contacts of positives that are turning out positive. Early on in this, we didn't see a lot of that. Someone would have a positive result, but we wouldn't see like the people in their household or their contacts turning out positive. But now we're seeing a larger increase in that, which kind of tells us that, you know, either it's more easily spread now, or it could just be the factor that we're at the end of summer and people are spending more time inside where it can spread easier. I mean, obviously, the closer you are to people, the easier it is to spread. The farther you away, the less easy. So, you know, there's probably numerous reasons for that.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
All right, we are running behind, but we will continue to move forward, and we have the Sheriff's Department with budget revisions and personnel.
I emailed it all to you guys, did you get it?
Yep.
This is just a budget revision we've got the insurance claim for one of our vehicles. To put that money into maintenance repair to get that vehicle fixed. A gas receipt was reimbursed, and Governor's Highway Safety reimbursement, and then move some monies around from internal, from auto supplies to sheriff's been doing maintenance on the garage and getting that moved around, so. The personnel part, probably gonna have to have Travis help me with this one. Last year, I don't know if you remember where we come in and requested that the some of the deputies could take their vacation or CDO time that they hadn't been able to use and
Yes.
convert to sick time. We're asking to do that again. I mean, it's gonna be no cost, just helps their retirement. We've had people sick, we've had people out, and we just have some people that have way too much to carry over, and instead of losing that, we're gonna transfer that over to sick time.
Your timing, you go on a calendar year?
Yes. Our civilians are fiscal, the deputies are calendar. For state code.
Okay, I mean, my thought would be that it's a good cooperative effort to do that to help, but I think we probably need to look at the financials to make sure that, is there any impact financially right now to,
No, sir. The great thing about allowing us to transition the CDOs and vacation to our sick time directly reflects our retirement. How many days of sick time directly goes to our retirement and our longevity. So it helps us on the back end. And there is no cost to the county for that whatsoever. And we do not have the personnel to cover all the shifts we have to cover. I have to cover 56, reason I'm here, because I do the scheduling. We have to cover 56 shifts with 15 people. Okay? And it's very difficult to do. So a lot of times, people are having to do extra shifts. And therefore, if you do extra shifts, you can't take the time off. And so therefore, every year, we're going to have this back end issue. We have so much time off that we could take, but we can't take. So if you can let us transition those days over, that helps us and it helps the people of Preston County.
so I didn't think there was any immediate impact on that financially. Last year there wasn't. I see no reason why we couldn't move to go ahead and repeat that, unless Kathy, you have any
I
kind
didn't
of.
know you did it last year.
Yeah,
Yeah, we did.
yeah, that's right, you weren't, okay.
Yeah, we did.
I would ask for you to delay that by 1 week, just so we have some conversation. All of your employees, are required to lose their vacation if they don't use it. All your employees might want to convert their sick leave, their vacation, and their CBOs into sick leave. I would just think that I didn't know you did it. And their department really is no different in the benefit that they receive. Your civilians are the same. I think your schedule is the same.
But isn't the retirement different for
Their
employees?
retirement may be different, a different agency.
No, I mean through PERS for us. There's some people that can't use their sick time, it doesn't mean anything to them.
That's not my understanding.
That
but-
is tier. That
Tier
is
two.
their- Yes, tier two.
Well, I think we need
Depends
to,
on
I would
hiring.
ask that you not do anything this week and that, there are many, many employees, most of our employees are in tier 1, as far as PERS goes. And, I would just ask, I didn't know you did it last year. I'm not saying not to do it, I'm just saying that, if you set it for some of your employees, would you want to give all your employees that opportunity? That's just my question.
All right, any other is there any
Okay.
discussion, or do we want to move on the?
Yeah, this comes up, and this is not anything that would be in any way detrimental in the comment to the other employees. But when you have to fill the schedule 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, it gives you a whole lot less of an opportunity to pare your employee numbers down and still get the job done. And that's the thing that I'll look at in my decision whether or not to do it. So
Well, you have other 24/7 operations, you have
Okay.
911, you have ambulance.
that's the first place that I would want to look at. Simply because, and I don't think maybe it's not a bad idea for everybody, but there are differences in the way they're scheduled and the way they do it. Sorry, that's the case. So I'd like to, I can put it off while we talk about it. I can do an motion now.
We'll certainly put it on the agenda.
Next week I do want to, so they know.
Okay, well, we will put it on the agenda and you will have that information next week. Okay, thank you. Thank you for coming. And we will need all the information that, for all employees, retirements, and we need that, fairly quickly.
Well, that's gonna, I mean, I have another comment to make about that. As a retirement board, you know, when we accumulate so many, our personnel policy says we accumulate so many days per month. So is it okay with the retirement board that we throw a lump in there? I don't know.
There's a lot of questions about it. There's just a lot of questions about, their retirement system is different than PERS. They're allowed to take, they're allowed to accumulate a lot more days than, because of my understanding is they're wanting to convert their vacation to sick time. Well, they can carry over 30 days, I think I'm correct to say 30 days in a year, where civilian employees are only allowed one half of what they earn. So I just think that we have adopted a policy. So I think that if we're going to do it, we probably need to amend our policy to say that this is something we're going to do.
I seem to recall last year, I may be wrong, but it seems like, if memory serves me correct, this was supposed to be last year was supposed to be a one-time deal, just to get it down, and then that way they wouldn't have to do it moving forward. But, I mean, we'd have to go back and look at the minute, but it seems to me that was part of the discussion last year, was that it was a one-time thing, just to get this, get these
Get the
days
vacation
down.
compensation under control.
Correct, get it under
The CEO,
control, get their
right.
arms around it, but that's something we need to go back, that's if memory serves me correctly. But I seem to remember that, because it seems like, Chief Deputy Pritz who brought it to us last year, and
I
he,
would call it.
but I'm just saying, I seem to recall that being part of the discussion, that it was to bring it down so that they get their arms wrapped around it, moving forward. But it was supposed to be like a one-time shot to do that. But but like I said, it's been a year ago.
Well, we'll work on that. We'll get you the information you need.
All right. Do we have any other budget revisions?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, we do.
All right,
Calm
and we
down.
will,
I've got a
just,
whole bunch.
we'll just hold off on approving those and doing all at once then. All right, let's move on with our review of bills.
I move that, as we review those are properly presented and approved, that we pay.
Second,
Been properly moved and seconded to review and pay the bills as they have been presented. Commissioner Price?
Yes.
Commissioner Smith?
yes,
Yes. All right, proceedings and vacation.
I'd like to move that we dispense with reading an open court session of the proceedings of vacation and enter the notice of record for October 22nd through November 4th.
Second.
Been properly moved and seconded to dispense with the reading and approve the proceedings and vacation October 22nd through November 4th, 2020. Commissioner Smith?
Yes.
Commissioner Price?
Yes.
Yes. Estate settlements.
We have, from the clerk's office, 4, DuPont, Huffman, Miller, and Shuffelt, or Shufelt, and I move that we approve those.
Second,
Been properly moved and seconded to approve the estate settlements October 19th through October 30th, 2020 for DuPont, Huffman, Miller, and Shuffelt. Commissioner Price?
Yes.
Commissioner Smith?
yes.
Yes. All right, no old business, and that brings us to our new business. Preston County Firemen's Association needs us to appoint a advisory board member. They have a vacancy on the 911 advisory board. And the Firemen's Association wishes to appoint Owen Evans to this opening on that board.
This is for the passing of Corky Thomas. He was that member.
Correct.
As a member of the Preston County 911 Advisory Board, I would like to welcome Owen Evans and move that we appoint him.
Second,
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve and appoint Owen Evans to fill the opening for the vacancy on the 911 Advisory Board. Commissioner Smith, or Commissioner Price? I
Yes.
apologize. Commissioner Smith?
Yes.
Yes. All right. Brings us to our administrator's report.
The first item I have for you is, we did receive the court's, security fund grant in the amount of $19,825. This is to replace the antiquated, x-ray scanner that you have in the courthouse. I just asked that the president be authorized to sign the documents.
So moved.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to authorize the president to sign the agreement for courthouse security grant. Commissioner Price,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
yes, you're pointing at him, and it was you. That's a little confusing.
The next item I have is just an update on the election and the canvass. Just wanted to say that, everything went very smoothly at the new election center. The election center, we did, the, election night coverage there, and we also did, our canvass there yesterday. The canvass has been completed. We're waiting on the Secretary of State to give us the nod on, when we might certify, because we share Tucker County. We share some stuff with Tucker County, a couple of seats. So, banner turnout, Linda can tell you more about that, but, you know, I think all in all, the canvas went great. The extra space was wonderful. I think everything went really well. Linda, you want to add?
I just want to say, thank goodness it's over. And the whole year's over with elections. But it was really wonderful having that space to work in and room to move. And we appreciate the efforts you took to give us the space to work in. So it'll make life, once we get our bearings, it'll make things a lot easier for us, I think, to work in for elections.
It was a very, very good space. Good decision.
Okay, if I could move to your miscellaneous correspondence. If you remember a couple of weeks ago, I think it was, that Dawn had asked for some information on AEDs. I got you updated information for that. This is the product that has been used, that is used by the ambulance, because we asked if we could, so we could share those pads. It's about, I did the math for about 6 machines. I think that's what we had. The total would be about $11,832. That's rounded up, so we didn't have any cents. I'd ask that you review that and see if you have any questions. There's an explanation on the front that from Justin to explain exactly what your warranties are. The individual price is $1,197 and some odd cents, right?
$1,971.13.
Right. So that's just for your information. Look it over. If you have any questions, reach out to us and we'll be happy to explain.
Just to refresh my memory, where all were we gonna put them? Can you tell us?
We were gonna put them in the courthouse, the annex. I believe we were thinking about putting 2 in the courthouse, one perhaps on the first floor and one on the 3rd floor. That was up for discussion because we have, Dwayne already has one. One in the annex, one in the courthouse, one in the sheriff's department, one in the extension office, one at the animal shelter, and I believe that 6th one was one that we were either gonna replace what Dwayne had or thinking about putting one on that 3rd floor. That's what I remember. It's been a long time since we did it, but the first quote was for 6, and I wasn't sure if we had added Dwayne. I know there was a lot of discussion about the courthouse, whether we needed one on the top floor as well as the bottom floor.
I believe in just recent discussion that I was having, with Justin or Dwayne, I can't recall at this minute. But, I believe that the one that they have there is.
It might have been that we
old
were
and
replacing
outdated,
that.
And I think it is.
That's the one it
place.
was. As long as we have one in each building, that building is not so big that you can't
We'll
get
put it on the second
down
floor.
there.
Well, I think we get some advice on where to put them. I think that's what some of their expertise that they give you, but that is the information, that's the up-to-date information. This is the same vendor that has been used as with the ambulance to the best of my knowledge. And I really appreciate Justin's help with
Was
that.
there the discussion with the ambulance, crews about the potential to work
To
together?
use those pads. That was what we were talking about previously. We were just looking, we just wanted to make sure that was an opportunity. So we had to go with the vendor that they used as well. You've got different warranties for the pads. I think the adult pads warranty's a little bit longer than
It's 5 years.
1 year
yeah.
pediatric
The
pads. So
pediatrics, 2 years.
I think you've got really good information there, and you just, if you'll just digest it, just make sure you don't have any questions on that. The next item I have is, if you remember, I've been working with, getting proposals on the, demo of the house on the McGrew property, not the McGrew house, please don't forget. It's an old structure that's down there. I do have two for you, well below your threshold. One is from Stone Paving for $7,800. The other one is from Safeco Environmental Inc. for $9,000. I'd like to move forward with the Stone Paving. This is basically a bill. It's not anything that you have to competitively bid or anything like that. It's just basically work that we would be doing. I would like to move forward as soon as possible because of the time of year,
Right.
and we certainly would like to get it out of there and on the ground and everything put back in safe. For Stone Paving, you'll get an air quality permit, a demo, backfill, seeding mulch. And I'd ask that, I'm gonna move forward with that with no objection. Okay, next item I have is, budget revisions. Prosecuting attorney could not be with you today. I'm not sure if you received this. I'm not sure what he does, but this just arrived on my desk. Linda, do you have a
I
copy
don't
of the budget
remember seeing
revisions?
it. I don't remember seeing that one.
I just have.
Okay, I'm not sure, he could be here, he's in court. So, basically what he's doing is, there's an explanation letter that, he is, the county commission gave, Stacy Greaser, who works, as a full-time victim advocate under a grant, and also works part-time for the prosecuting attorney at the part-time rate, which was $500. He would like to, revise his budget and give her an additional $500. What he's doing is, for your consideration, is he's moving it from equipment into extra help. And it's $539 counting the FICA. So that's one. The next one is, Connie, do you have your budget revisions right? We can present all those together then if you want to.
Okay.
The budget revision that we're presenting is for the salary adjustment, the one-time salary adjustment that you have asked for your employees. It's long, so I just made one copy. Basically, what we're doing is, the total amount you can see is $79,635, and that includes your FICA. These are all the people that are in general county, okay? This is the general county budget. The other one is, and you're decreasing your contingencies to make that happen. Now, for 911, he's decreasing his extra help on his mapping and addressing and putting it in his salary along with the FICA. And on his, for the 3 positions that are shared between general county and 911, he is moving it once again from extra help in the amount of $12,326 and moving it into salaries and FICA. Now, Connie has hers to present, and this is her employees through the valuation portion.
My budget revision is for something else.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That money has already been taken care of. I prepared for that in advance. I have already done
Oh,
budget
okay.
revisions
Okay,
through the
gotcha.
assessor's valuation fund through the state tax department to cover this because I anticipated that, okay? All right. This budget revision is to take $1,000 out of overtime, $1,000 out of travel, and $1,000 out of training and education, and enter that into extra help to complete the training and help Dolores has been giving to our personal property effort there to train new people to perform that duty. It's an amount of, going to extra help, $2,847, and to FICA, $153 for the 2,000 overtime, travel and training. The FICA is already there for overtime.
Also, you had some money that needed to come out of workers' home confinement. That's a checkbook, so you would never have a budget revision on that one. The last one I have for you is, this is VOCA. Finally got the nod from VOCA. That is to incorporate the grant, which begins, this is a federal grant, so their year is different than all your others. This actually begins in October 1st, and this goes through September 30th, 2021. The total grant is $44,910. Your contribution is $4,729 in cash, but you also contribute $6,000 in kind for office space. So the other one is the community corrections, and let me explain what happened to that. We are trying to transition from paper checks to direct deposit. So for some reason, and Dave knows all about this because he continually gets the emails, they have thrown this community corrections money, they threw some other funds into the coal bed methane account. So finally, we're getting that straightened out. This was erroneously put in the general county. So what we had to do is call it a refund and reimbursement in a revenue, and then we had to move it to an expense line item to get it to community corrections. In your bill box is the voucher that shows you that you are now taking it from 401 to 40, which is your expense refunds and reimbursements, and moving it to the appropriate line item. Hopefully, we have finally got this figured out. This is happening everywhere. They're trying, they want everyone to go to direct deposit, but we're just struggling to set up the accounts. Mary's been working very hard, Jennifer's been working very hard. So we may have these come along. We had some CARES funding that had happened the same way, that it got into the general county when it needed to go into a clearing, help me with this, Lynn, it's clearing account, right? Yes. So, you know, we were good with paper checks, but they're saying that they're going to transition out of that. So we're doing the best we can on that one.
I can't tell you how wonderful it was when I got these emails that said they were putting this money in my account.
Didn't last long, did it?
Oh.
I think that's all the budget revisions. I know it's fast and furious, and we want to make sure we get Linda all those copies. I think Dee Dee has a copy of the VOCA, and she has the copy of, what's her name? Connie's, but you need to give her the copy of the one that,
Linda, can I have the copy of the one from the sheriff's department so I can sign that?
yeah, you need to stamp it. I gave you copies.
I have the rest of them.
Okay. I move that we approve the budget revisions. They would be for the Preston County Commission, for the assessor, for the sheriff's department, and for the 911.
And the, yes.
I will second it.
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the stack of budget revisions as they have been presented from the various offices today. Commissioner Price,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
yes.
I just wanted to clarify, we have no objection to moving forward with the vote of the House, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, we can talk about it.
Okay, calendar wise, don't forget, tomorrow's the Veterans Program on the courthouse lawn, begins at 10:30. They will be ringing the bell. I believe they're scheduling a 21-gun salute. All
I
that's,
think the way, just to give a very brief, quick rundown, They said they're gonna be here at 10:30 to set up. The thing will start a little bit before 11 as Don rings the bell, if you're gonna be here, Don. And, because it was his holiday to ring it. And then in talking with the Vietnam veterans and the others who are gonna be here, they will, after they're welcome and tell everybody that this is a program that is happening and we welcome you. Then at 11 o'clock, they will begin. At 11:11, they will do the 21 gun salute as it works out with the 11-11-11. And they have a program. They even have somebody, I think, that's going to sing a little bit. So in conversation, they have a nice program coming up. So
Is that tomorrow?
That's
Yes,
tomorrow.
that's tomorrow,
Veterans Day.
yeah,
on the courthouse lawn.
yeah. So it'll be extra special. I think tomorrow is a way to. I hope everybody can come out and enjoy that.
In raincoat.
Need to remember.
Yeah, raincoat.
So, let's see,
These guys have seen a lot worse than the rain that will happen. So
I
it's us that we have to worry about.
I registered for an opportunity on a visual meeting on grants. I'm not exactly sure what this is gonna be, but it's only for an hour and a half or so. So I thought I'd go ahead and register. I haven't gotten the sign up Zoom meeting yet, but we registered for that, or I registered for that on Friday. I am going to invite someone from the sheriff's office because I do think that there was some law enforcement opportunity in that. So I'll invite them.
That's what the congressman's office, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I sent that to the EDA so that they might.
Yeah, and I can reach out to her. I just haven't yet, so I can
But
reach
they're
out to
open
her.
or not. Well, maybe they'll open for that. When is it?
Well, I can invite her, perhaps if she would, well, she can do that. You can do
She
that
can do that
anywhere.
next Zoom.
Yeah,
You can do that
you
at
can
your
do that
house.
anywhere. Just a note, don't forget the November the 17th meeting is at 10:30 because of Dawn's meeting with the CD.
It doesn't have to be 10:30. I mean, honestly, that's if we were driving. I'm not driving.
Well, we just set that a long time ago, so if you all want to change the time, that's up to you.
You're
Let's
liable
do
to
it
be
today.
virtual for a while, so we might back it up until you're done being virtual.
I don't know what
That's
time
what
it
I'm saying.
starts.
There's no, it starts at 8. It is literally done at 9. She is
Sure,
very
hold on.
big at stopping at 9. I mean, we can start our meeting if, and
So
say.
you can even do that meeting here.
We'll have to change
Be here.
But yeah, we can do it. I mean, if we want to do it at 9:30, just be on the
9:30.
safe side, I don't see it having to be a problem.
Okay.
I like that.
You'll get
When
notice on
again?
that, just make a note if you would, that we're changing that to 9:30. The animal shelter is gonna be, give you an update at the 17th meeting of all the great things that are happening up there. We do have I do have a meeting with, I'm facilitating a meeting for community corrections on the 16th to go over, it's gonna be a great meeting. It's, everybody to talk to about the DHHR drug testing protocols that we have in Preston County. The community corrections has moved to a new location. It's offering more opportunity and it'll be a chance that those folks, it's very few, I think there's 5, and they'll be going to that facility. So I'm there to help facilitate that meeting. I think that's basically everything I had for you today. Any questions for me? No, that's okay, that's okay. And we will, Linda and I'll get with Crystal and come up with that information for you all. Anything, do you have any comments?
No, the only thing I have with the CDB meeting next week, that's,
Okay,
I've been talking about.
Dave?
I don't think so. Yeah, all right.
Everybody have a
Hard to
wonderful
leave without
Veterans
talking about
Day.
some roads.
Thank you to all our veterans out there.
Yes. Got some questions on the roads that are being, what do you call it, milled and
Reclaimed,
reclaimed.
yes.
That has some people wondering what's next. And a couple of roads that I've talked about, and we've had this extended good weather. One of them is Buckeye. And they talked to me last couple of years, and it's got some big holes, and now they said no longer can they do the thing and miss them. They just have to go straight.
I was gonna ask you all if you think that, as we're approaching the winter season, that it might be advantageous to, I don't think that the new superintendent for the district has come to a meeting. He's been to a meeting, but not as the district superintendent. So I was thinking maybe it might be appropriate that as we go into perhaps the first week in December or before the holidays really kick in, that we have another Zoom meeting, just to go over what happened in the spring and summer and what we can look forward to in the
I
fall.
agree.
So if
Oh, yeah.
you would like me to
I would like
reach out to them and we'll pick a couple of dates. And I really think that's important because we are now fielding more calls about what people can anticipate on some of these reclaimed roadways for wintertime care. I think that was a question that we've had a couple of times. So with your permission, I'll go
I
ahead
think
and
that most of them are
reach out to
hoping
them.
that it'll freeze up so that they're not down to the axle.
Well, we've had some, we're getting more calls, you know, there for a
Hell
while.
Road,
They were waiting to see how things worked out and what work was done in the spring and summer. And it's always nice to get the Department of Highways in here so that we can get good information for the people.
I'd like to give a shout out to my friends down in Moorfield area, where they have been paving some roads that the residents there say we would love to have in Preston County before the paving. So it's just, it still baffles me of how that can be.
I do, I was trying to pull it up, I have an email that it's just not working for whatever reason.
If I could, just if you guys, are there any dates in that, between, let's look between the 1st and like the 18th of December, if you'll give me any dates that you're not available before I reach out to them, so we can get some pretty solid dates. Don't have to do it right now, between the 1st of December and the 18th, if you'll just email or text those to me. Well, just,
November's okay too. I mean,
Well-
if they say they're available next week, that's.
well, we have the animal shelter for next week, and then, we're gonna have, then you have the Thanksgiving holiday. I can ask, but
If they throw that out.
But we have, those two meetings could get, you know, we want to make sure that we have some appointments that perhaps we're going to have to rearrange because of the time and.
When they started doing that reclaimer work, which was very late in the season, with everything with COVID, the phones really did start blowing up about it, for multiple reasons, because it was, they were very detailed in what they were doing, but it was very vague on each individual road, how they were going to, what was gonna be the outcome of the road after it was completed, once they had done what they were supposed to do with it, what they planned on doing. I was advised that, information went out to the local newspapers in October, early October 8th, and they gave a list of all the roads that were going to see this reclaimed work happening. So the email that came to me said that they were covering ground in Preston County. And West Virginia Department of Highways continues correcting road surfaces issues in Preston County to quickly get a good base and immediate improved drivability on 24 rural roads. A machine called a reclaimer is being utilized. The reclaimed roads will, based on their average daily travel. So supposedly they've gone out, they've seen how much travel happens on these secondary roads, and they base their decisions on that. Either to be paved, tar and chipped, or gravel, with additional work taking place at a later time. So they are reclaiming, a lot of them are just getting some gravel put on them, and supposedly some of them will be paved, tar and chipped, or returned to a solid gravel service at a later time. So stopping there, when some of these roads, such as Stone Hollow and different ones in different areas of the county that have already had this work done, I've received multiple pictures of roads that four-wheel drive trucks, the ruts were so bad. These are bus routes, these are roads that they reclaimed and they either did or did not put gravel back on some of the areas
Not enough.
or not enough. And with a little bit of rain, within a couple days, these ruts were massive. And I brought it to the attention of the DOH, and immediately they were back out there working to rectify the situation. Now, I continue to get emails and calls daily on some of the roadways, but I do know that some of the constituents have been keeping me in the loop, and they've also reached out to Capito and different people as well. So continuing on here with this email, it says, throughout the month of October, citizens will see the reclaimer in use on the most pothole-ridden rural roads, says Darby Clayton, PE Assistant Chief Engineer of Operations. Building a good base with the reclaimer will allow us to bring all 24 roads up to better quality ride in the beginning. After that, the focus will shift to providing each roadway with the surface its average daily traffic dictates. We ask that the public be patient as we're trying to get a large number of roads in better condition than they have been in years. The 24 projects on which the reclaimer is currently being utilized are Centenary, Mountaindale, Teets, Cherry Grove, Mountaindale, Cease, Henry Collins, Spiker, Shaw Hill, Mount Negro, Bull Run, John Miller, Beach Run, Hell Hollow, Irish Ridge, Stony Run, Mountain Vista, Vargo, Burke, Stone Hollow, Chestnut Ridge, Birch Root, Red Rock, Hogback, Herb Arch, Terralta Lake, Burnside Camp, and Acton, with work zones in all 55 counties around the state. West Virginia Division of Highways reminds drivers heads up, phones down to keep each other safe. So that was the notification that I did receive. Some of the work, and I have been taking this back multiple times, and they have been coming out and looking and trying to correct some things that have happened. And my fear is with a later date of the additional work being done once they're reclaimed, is this winter. I mean, we saw a little bit of rain and we had massive ruts on some of these roads. When they're taking up that surface, I don't know if it's maybe just going a little too deep or what's happening, but it's bringing up a lot of mud, not just taking that old tar and chip and old pavement off of there, grinding it and laying it back down. It's getting, I think, too much. And that's just my personal opinion. I'm not an expert by any means. But they have been coming out and working on that. And the people in the communities are working with me to give me a heads up when I can't get out to the areas to check that out. I know you've gone out to, I just want the public to know that, we are working. I believe they are to make sure that they, get this corrected. I also have received a phone call from a citizen that was very upset about the road being turned back into gravel. And their assessments on their property are based on a paved road. And they want that to be reflected on their assessment if it is not, in fact, going back to a road of quality at which their assessment has been done. So I don't know, Connie, if that's something that you're looking into, if it's been addressed to you.
It has not been addressed.
Okay, well, that just came to me and I
A fair question though.
It's a very
It
good
is a
question.
fair
And you got 24 roads that I think most of them will probably go back
Well,
to
the
gravel.
question is, is it temporary?
Right, and I think
That's
that's
what
what
we
we
need
need
to
to have
know.
from the DOH.
That's why it's important.
And I think that in that meeting, when maybe we can get you to be a part of that segment, because we need to know those things. The
Yeah.
people going out in the field need to know if this road is going to be left the way it is, because it's not fair. When city water and sewage goes down a road, that creates an increase on the value of those properties. It makes it worth more. And good roads also increase your property. So, if the roads are terrible, but they are getting fixed and going back to what the current assessment is, then, I see reason that it needs to hold where it's at. But if it's going from a tar and chipped or a gravel or a paved road back to a gravel surface forever, then we need to do right by the citizens and adjust those assessments accordingly.
Sounds like a fair number of them are gonna do that.
Yes.
Can I say?
Yes, ma'am.
Last week I did a story, got a similar email from DOH, but it concluded with, we are not guaranteeing or promising in any way that they'll be gravel, paved, or tarred and chipped within the next fiscal year. So basically, they're not promising any time.
Well, we will definitely be looking at that, and
That's
if you
another
can,
reason to meet, you know, with them.
if you can also, Connie, be
I don't
thinking,
have that list, I don't have that list.
I'll forward you the email.
Thank you.
I'll forward you the email. And the worst part about the list is, I've asked, and I still haven't gotten it yet, and it doesn't mean I'm not going to, sometimes it takes a while. But, I've asked, can you please tell me what those average daily travel numbers are? And can you please tell me which roads are gonna be gravel, which ones are tar and chip? I don't need you to tell me when it's gonna be done. I understand we are confined by the weather and different things that happen here. But can you please tell me which ones are gonna be this? Because those are the questions. People are upset. You know, they want a smooth road. And I will tell you, some of the roads that I travel on in this county, some of them are fine to go back to gravel if it's done properly. You know, if it's a good gravel road, I mean, we travel out of Preston County on a back road and end up in Tucker County, they have beautiful gravel roadways. Most of theirs are paved. Most of their secondary roads are paved, nicely paved. But there are some of those treacherary roads in the counties that are connector roads between the counties that are wonderful gravel roads. And that I
In
would.
Tucker County.
In other counties, yes. And so I would really, you know, I keep my fingers crossed that we're getting there one step at a time, and I'm seeing little bits of progress. And I do believe we're regressing when we take some of these roads back to different things. But if we have to go back to be able to go forward again, some of these roads are very dangerous left in the condition that they are. But we just need to know what the end game is for those roads that have been listed. Because people deserve to know. People deserve to know. So, all right. So stay tuned for more information on that. Okay?
Aren't you glad I brought that up?
I'll make sure you're on that invitation card.
Thank you.
And anybody else who got it, want to make sure.
Okay,
that's there.
perfect. All right. Let's see here. A couple other notes that I had. Again, I would just like to thank everybody in Linda's department with everything that went on with the election. You know, with all the hype and all the media about different things that's happening, it is such a breath of fresh air to sit back and say, you know what, none of that's happened in Preston County, and it won't happen in Preston County. I certainly appreciate the effort, the transparency, the work of our IT to make sure that we were able to get the results out to the public, to the media, to everybody that needed that information. And just the process has been one of the smoothest that I've seen in my tenure as a commissioner. And there's so much work that we don't see, that the public doesn't know, that goes on behind the scenes to make sure. And, you know, things have been a little bit different each election because we've transitioned to new equipment and a new space. And, you know, we've even done the paper ballots for the special things. And, you know, there's just been a lot of change. And so with that, everybody has just really stepped up. And I'm proud of our election process here in Preston County. And yes, we might be, you know, not as heavy populated as some of the other areas, but I feel without a doubt that even if we were more populated in Preston County, that the process would be just as smooth and as good as it currently is. So thank you for everybody that had any involvement in that. It's very much appreciated. And I don't think that I have anything else. Does anyone have anything else today? All right, we are adjourned. Oh, I do have one comment before everybody takes off. Today is our first day for YouTubing our meetings. So Beth, can you just hop up here on this side of the camera real quick and just tell the folks how they can view us on YouTube?
Okay, we do have a YouTube channel called Preston County Commission. I think it's just Preston County Commission, actually. I did put a link on our Facebook site going to that channel. Sadly, today, we only had one viewer while we were streaming. But it's the first go at it. I'm looking forward to hearing some feedback from that one viewer even of how it went, audio quality and all those kind of things, because this is our first go with this one. So far,
I
so
think a
good.
lot of people went back in the evening when they got home or later when they
Yes.
found out and watched it when it was being.
And I will check the analytics early next week and before the next meeting and see how many people did watch it over the week and see if we've gained any subscribers. Right now, we only have one subscriber to the channel, which is me, because I was testing it.
Well, and I think that that's gonna grow. I know when we were Facebook Living our
It took a
meetings,
little bit of time.
it took a little bit of time, but we did have a lot of regular people really plugging into that. And I know that with this service, you have to actually go to YouTube on a computer or however it might be to check that out. But, if we can get a lot of likes on our YouTube channel, this is something that people can view differently. I think it's like 1,000 likes. So with 30,000 people, we should be able to get to that point.
Well, the subscriber thing comes a factor if you want to stream off of a mobile device. So until we have 1,000 subscribers, excuse me, we have to use the computer to stream.
To do that.
Then once we have 1,000 subscribers, it's my understanding through their terms and all that kind of thing, which is really interesting reading, that at that point you can use YouTube's mobile app and stream off of a mobile app like you do at the bell ringings and things
Well,
like
it's just
that.
currently, that's the
So-
way times are changing, and we've got to stay up to speed with communication and technology and making sure that we are getting the information out to the citizens. So thank you for
No
that.
problem.
If I could, also on COVID, a little bit on COVID. We have decided to move away from the colors, and you'll see new signage on our buildings that just say social distancing and face covering. Because of the fluidity of that, you were orange at 10, or not orange, I'm sorry, you were yellow, and then by 1 o'clock you're another color. So BJ and I had a meeting, and the reality is this: social distancing and masks are for every color. Then if we get, because school, actually the gold color does not prohibit in-school instruction. So if we would move, as we originally said, to orange, then we will change our protocol.
Okay.
But that's why you'll see new signage on all of our buildings, is because we couldn't keep up with the fluidity of the colors.
All right,
Simple, masks.
Mask and
6 feet.
social distancing, correct.
all right, we are officially done. Thank you.
Return some more.
It's really been done.
Okay, I'm not sure, what was this for?